All right. Hello. This video was sent to me by Maddie Two Hats, I think. This is the Andrew Chapman Creative channel, so hopefully my mics are all working and everything. Let me see. Check. Yep, looks like good. I think I did a couple of reaction videos on this channel, but yeah, trying to be tactful here. This channel just seems to be a logical fallacy generator. I mean, honestly, like it's all these magical claims, but never backed up. Like, so this one's called "Don't Buy a Preamp Until You See This." Until you see this tier list, 2025 edition. It's from Andrew Chapman Creative. If we're talking about sound quality and fidelity, like, this isn't a hard thing to do. Like, there's one and only one way. Maybe there's other ways, but there's one very, very quick, very simple, very easy way to compare two mic preamps. Feed a known signal source into the input and compare the outputs. If you don't do that, you're not saying anything. You're just talking. You're just blowing air through meat. I mean, that's really all you're doing. Blowing air through meat has no evidential value whatsoever. It's just air moving through meat. That doesn't tell you that 2 + 2 is 4. It's just the sound of air vibrating a slab of meat. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, this, I don't know if you guys know this story. It's an old, I don't know, he shows up in the tech circles, but basically it's about aliens, and they come and they're studying humans. And it turns out that humans are made out of meat, which is weird to the aliens. But when they talk about how do they speak, let's see. So this is thinking. The thinking is meat. You know. So they're saying everything about them is meat. But where is the way they describe how we talk? Oh man, where is it? The brain does the thinking. They actually talk. Oh yeah, okay. So here he's asking. They actually do talk. Then they use words, ideas, concepts, and the other alien says, "Oh yes, except they do it with meat." And the other one says, "I thought you just told me they use radio." He says, "They do, but what do you think is on the radio? Meat sounds. You know when you slap or flap meat, it makes a noise? They talk by flapping their meat at each other. They can even sing by squirting air through their meat." And the other one says, "Oh my God, singing meat. This is altogether too much. So what do you advise?" So that's what it is. We're squirting air through meat, and that doesn't have any evidentiary value. That's why in court, you know, like you do not convict somebody. Well, I mean, hopefully you don't get convicted based on somebody's words. Words are just the sound of air flapping through meat. And unless you're actually giving evidence, you're just, like they say, squirting air through meat. So let's see what he has to say. I hope that this breaks this cycle from this channel, and he actually tests this stuff and gives it to us in terms that we care about. And, you know, let's say for a mic preamp, I mean, maybe sound quality isn't your primary concern. Maybe you need one with a compressor on it. Maybe you need one that can convert it to digital somehow. Maybe you want one that automatically levels, like these new dual converter 32-bit. We don't even talk about that, I guess. In terms of sound quality, it is extremely easy to make a tier list and make it accurate. Every time I watch one of these guys' videos, it doesn't contain any real useful evidence. So let's hit play, and maybe this won't last that long.
The different preamps that I've used throughout my 20 years of working in audio. Let's jump into it. a good preamp. Like, I still believe to date that the best first like major studio upgrade that you can really do is to upgrade your preamp.
Why? You had better be able to prove that that preamp that's coming with your, most likely you probably got one of those little red Focusrite boxes, and those preamps are perfectly good. I don't know how many million times you guys want me to bring this up, but my page has testing of all this stuff, and that Focusrite Scarlets hold up just fine. Absolutely fine. Not only in terms of mic preamps, but in terms of analog to digital converters. I got a Scarlett in here somewhere, and this is like first generation. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, 18i20 generation 1. The thing is flat to within 1/10 of a decibel. All right, that's your frequency response anyway. So, and the noise is nothing to worry about. The distortion is nothing at all to worry about. So why upgrade that preamp?
Will die on that hill. In fact, if you want more of a personal story as to
no,
why
I don't want a story. I don't want a narrative.
With my heart of hearts, I released a video a couple months ago called "Stop Saying Gear Doesn't Matter." I know it's kind of a clickbaity title.
Yeah, I think we did this one, and he was 1,000,000% wrong.
But go watch that video. I share a story.
No, give us evidence. I don't want a story. I want evidence.
I feel that way.
Evidence.
And if you want to go argue with me in the comments, just do it over there. Or do it here too. That's totally fine.
How about some evidence?
All right, before we jump into everything, let's define our terms. God tier, because God tier. Right below that, we've got excellent choice, Pete. I don't know a Pete. So I chose that.
All right, so here goes. Here's the first one.
1073 SPX. Excellent choice, Pete. Now, keep in mind, this is the AMS Neve 1073, and it's the SPX, which is the single channel with the EQ. I owned this for a little over a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I liked it. I think it sounds great.
What do you mean by sounds great? I mean, are you purposely trying to change what your mic sounds like? If so, what is good? Is plus 2 dB at 2.5K always good? I mean, that's what I take away when people are trying to telephone their mics with that, when they cup their mics, right? That's what I take out. So I don't think I'd like to add that necessarily.
Why is it not in God tier? There's a few other 1073s that I actually like a little bit better, which I know might sound like blasphemy because this is the Neve 1073. Well, it kind of is a Neve 1070.
Babble.
I know this sounds super douchey.
Truthfully, you can't really manufacture a preamp the same way vintage Neves were made. Okay, let's hear if he gives any evidence for that claim. Because, spoiler, yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. Yes, you absolutely can make a mic preamp that sounds identical to an example of a 1073. I'm sure that you have one that is the magic one that only 3 of them were made. And those ones are super special and you can't copy those. Actually, you can. But anyway, let's see if there's any evidence for that.
Like, it shares the name of the company, right? But it's not really the same as like the vintage Neve 1073. I know this sounds super douchey. Roll your eyes with me, but they do sound different.
In what way?
I do have experience with the vintage
In what way?
So we're going to get into that in a little bit. But let's just keep moving on. Okay, real quick, I forgot to mention this in the video when I was actually recording it, of course, but I'm going to get all of the legacy stuff out of the way first. So the 1073s and 1073 clones that I've used, I'm going to do those first. The APIs and API clones, we're going to get that out of the way. And then we'll get to all the boutique stuff after that. So timestamps down below. I mean, okay, so here's the deal.
Yeah, so this one says warm on it instead of Neve. So, of course, it sounds worse. Like, where's this guy's evidence, man? Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, it's in this category. That'll do. Because it'll work. It's fine, but compared to a lot of the other 1073s,
what's wrong with it?
It's, do we have any other options? I did not like it. I owned this particular 1073 clone. I'm going to call it a clone. And I owned it for, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks. I sold it pretty quick because
he's got to put some measurements on here.
Decided to purchase using those links it gives difference between the two that I was able to pick.
We're not buying your OnlyFans, dude.
Many different scenarios in many different sessions. It is one, and there's not a huge difference between all the different like generations of the. What it does is it actually sends some of the output of the signal right back into the input stage of that preamp. So you can kind of fine tune. You can either do lower gain, higher feedback, or higher gain, lower feedback, or kind of find that preamp. It's like you're a chef and you have, and he wanted to create the most musical sounding preamp that.
What does musical sounding mean, man? Okay, I'm sorry. This video is garbage. Again. No evidence.
Let's take a look at his list.
Zero evidence.
Let's see if I'm going to make any different or any little.
This is just religion. Sorry. All right. I tried. I have a million other things I should be doing right now. I got so many mixes I'm behind on. So I'll see.